WKRP in Cincinnati is a subtle masterpiece with 8 distinct characters that enjoyed 4 stellar seasons from 1978 to 1982. This show was extremely authentic, the credit for which goes to creator Hugh Wilson, who based the show upon his experiences working in ad sales at a radio station in Atlanta. Today we're heading back to the station to see what the staff got into after the videotape filled up. Lonnie Anderson as Jennifer Marlowe. Born August 5, 1945. Jennifer Marlowe is the station's receptionist and also its highest paid employee. And probably the biggest reason why most people, men in particular, tuned in. But she didn't just have looks. She was incredibly friendly and good-hearted. Lonnie refused to be the dumb blonde type. Her Jennifer was not only smart but a journalism major. And Lonnie was quite brilliant in the role, constantly deflecting calls for Carlson. Lonnie Anderson began acting in 1966, but didn't really hit her stride until the late 70s, which included 5 episodes of The Love Boat. I was surprised at her next TV show attempt, 1984's Partners in Crime alongside Wonder Woman herself, Linda Carter, didn't last past 1 season. For more on lovely Linda, check out our Wonder Woman deep dive episode. In 1993, Anderson was added to the 3rd season of the popular sitcom Nurses, playing the hospital administrator. Aside from her acting career, Anderson became known for her colorful personal life, particularly her marriage to actor Burt Reynolds. They starred in the 1983 comedy Stroker Ace, which was a critical and box office flop. The two adopted a son together named Quentin, but divorced in 1994 after 6 years of marriage. She died August 3, 2025 at age of 79, and will forever be remembered as one of the biggest sex symbols of the 1970s. Frank Bonner as Herb Tarlek. Born February 28, 1942. Herb Tarlek was the vain sales manager with the tackiest suits in Cincinnati, often referred to as the little guy to Arthur Carlson's big guy. Frank Bonner got his start in the 1970s cult classic Equinox, which has some great stop animation monsters if you've never seen it. In 1978, Bonner was injured in a parachute accident when a freak wind left him falling 20 feet to the ground. This is why you may remember his Herb on crutches for some of Season 2. From 1988 to 1990, Bonner played the headmaster of the fictional St. Augustine's Academy on the TV show Just the 10 of Us, which was a spin-off of Growing Pains. Frank didn't just act on WKRP, he also directed for the first time, and did 6 episodes in total. He has gone on to direct many shows, from 11 episodes of Harry and the Hendersons to all 105 episodes of the late 90s show City Guys. Sadly, Bonner died in June 2021 at the age of 79 from complications from Lewy body dementia. Gordon Jump as Arthur Carlson. Born April 1, 1932. Arthur Carlson, aka the big guy, is the stammering awkward general manager whose main qualification is that his overbearing mother is WKRP's owner. Thankfully, Gordon himself was very qualified for his job. Interestingly enough, Gordon was also born in Dayton, Ohio, and his first job was actually in a radio station. He began acting in 1965 with an episode of Daniel Boone. Then he started working constantly, including 7 episodes of The Partridge Family in the early 70s. And if you haven't watched our Then and Now episode about the Partridges, go see what Susan Day and company are up to. The year before he became Arthur Carlson, he was chief of police Tinkler in the popular show Soap, along with reprising his Carlson in the new WKRP. He also played Ed Malone in the wildly popular Growing Pains. Jump sadly died in 2003 at the age of 71 from pulmonary fibrosis. But his footprint on television history is quite significant. Howard Hessman as Dr. Johnny Fever. Born February 27, 1940. Dr. Johnny Fever is a heavily caffeinated anti-disco DJ who we all wanted to be. He came to WKRP after being fired from his last gig for saying booger. Needless to say, he adjusted to the rock style swimmingly. Hessman was originally asked to audition for the part of Herb, but he felt he was only right for Johnny Fever and refused. That's Dr. Johnny Fever for Ya, and Hessman would be nominated for 2 Emmys for his work. Howard Hessman's first gig was his 2 episode on The Andy Griffith Show in '68. However, Hessman's first recurring gig was that of 13 episodes on Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman. After WKRP, he had another starring TV job as Charlie Moore on the ABC series Head of the Class from 1986 to 1990. He was everywhere in the 70s and 80s, even appearing on SNL 3 times. We last saw him in 2017 in 2 episodes of Season 3 of Fresh Off the Boat. Sadly, Howard passed away from complications of colon surgery on January 29, 2022, at the age of 81. Jan Smithers as Bailey Quarters. Born July 3, 1949, Bailey Quarters was originally in charge of billing and station traffic. The young ingenue of the station, if you will. However, she's savvy, and later on, we see how much more competent she is than Nessman. The character of Bailey Quarters was based on creator Hugh Wilson's wife. Smithers started her career as a model, featured on the cover of Newsweek magazine in 1966. Her acting career bloomed in the 1974 film, Where the Lilies Bloom, but besides 4 episodes of The Love Boat, she didn't do much after playing Bailey. We last saw her perform in 1987's comedy Mr. Nice Guy, after which she retired from acting. From 1986 to 1995, she was married to actor James Brolin, and the two have one daughter together named Molly Elizabeth. Today, Jan is 76. She also enjoys traveling, specifically to India. Tim Reed as Venus Flytrap, Gordon Sims. Born December 19, 1944. Venus Flytrap, whose real name was Gordon Sims back when he was a teacher. Instead of the funky evening DJ, Venus was smooth-talking and soulful. So iconic, his character inspired Tim Meadows to create Leon Phelps for the SNL sketch, The Ladies' Man. Tim Reed began acting in 1974, and his big break was WKRP. After which he joined the hit CBS detective series Simon & Simon for nearly 80 episodes. His next television mainstay was in the 90s show Sister, starring as Tia and Tamara Mowry's on-screen father. Reed never slowed down. We recently saw him in the 2020 Lifetime movie, A Welcome Home Christmas. Today, he's 81 years old and also founded the Legacy Media Institute, a non-profit organization that seeks to attract young people to film. Richard Sanders as Les Nessman. Born August 23, 1940. Les Nessman was another star of both WKRP series. The popular bowtie and bandage-wearing reporter was portrayed by actor Richard Sanders, who continued to fill TV and movie roles throughout the 1980s and 90s. Today he's 85 years old and hopefully avoiding all things turkey. Gary Sandy as Andy Travis. Born December 25, 1945. Andy Travis is the new program director and turns the station from elevator music to rock with his feathered hair. Andy was handsome and wholesome, a sharpshooter who forms quite the bond with his staff. His satin WKRP staff jacket was actually a modified Cincinnati Reds warm-up jacket, one of many nods to the hometown team. And Gary Sandy was the perfect everyday man for this sitcom. He was even born in Dayton, Ohio, and lived in the state until after college. Gary's acting career began in 1970, with guest roles on some great shows like an episode each of Medical Center and Barnaby Jones. But nothing close to his Andy Travis. In 1986, he starred alongside the never-ending story's Noah Hathaway in the film Troll. It's a pretty bad but fun Ghoulies or Gremlins attempt if you haven't seen it. We last saw him in the 2004 made-for-TV movie, A Place Called Home. The film featured Bye Bye Birdie star and former Elvis lover, the beautiful Anne Margaret. Today he's 80 years old, and still acting but mainly stage work, and coincidentally, he's also doing some radio dramas.